Welcome back, guys. We're going on to chapter 3 in 12 Rules for Life. This is one of my favorite chapters, and it's called Make Friends with People Who Want the Best for You. We have a sculpture of David by Michelangelo, and Jordan Peterson says that this sculpture stands for aiming and setting your sights on something that is greater than yourself, fulfilling your potential. And this is all about making sure that your friend group and the people that are in your life are not keeping you exactly where you're at. They're actually encouraging you to go forward and to be the best that you can. And this is a very important chapter because I've realized this. It's easy to have shitty friends and it's easy to be a shitty friend. It's very easy. It's easy to stop trying. Guys, because trying is fucking hard, man. It's hard to change your life. It takes effort. It's a challenge. Most people don't want to do that. And so what do? They crabs in a bucket. You know, the highest betrayal of a crab is to try to reach for the top of the bucket and get out. With the crabs, pull them back down. It's like, man, when you start reaching, people start seeing your physique change. You start to get more money. As your happiness increases, you get more girls in your life. You are having more fun. Oh man, dude, you're going to really find out. People don't like that. People don't like that because it takes hard work. And once you put in that work, people are going to feel like their soul tells them, man, I'm not fulfilling my potential. I'm not being all that I can be. And this guy's a mirror for me to see that in, man. So let me get to someone else that's smoking weed and drinking and, that I can just chill with. And that's the danger, man, because once you add a person into your life, into the group, I mean, this is studied very well. It's like a weed. You put a weed in a garden, it just flourishes. The whole garden goes down. You give a person that is a lifeguard, you send him out and someone's drowning. They're very cautious to make sure that person's not going to panic, and they put their leg out first so that they don't grab onto him and just sink down. They're better than one person drowns than two, right? It sounds harsh, but it's important to be ruthless with getting rid of that dead wood in your life. There was this period of my life when my parents passed away where I went to live with my younger brother, Tim. And Tim was a smart dude, man, had a lot of potential. I don't really talk to him anymore, but a lot of potential. He was huge. This guy was probably like 250 at 17 years old. Jacked, right? If he kept working out, he would have been great. He was a natural leader. And the kids would come over to the apartment, these little almost rats. He had his friends and they looked up to him, and he thought that I'm going to be a light for these guys. I'm going to hang out with them. I'm going to help them get their life together. But all they wanted to do was smoke weed. All they wanted to do was drink. And they would come over. And eventually, enough, after too many, have a drink. Every fucking day they would do this. And eventually my brother just became just like that. They took a king from the throne. These fucking peasants, man. And they really he chose it though. He chose this life. And he let it happen by inviting in that toxic, these people that didn't care about him living a greater life. They just wanted to have another person to reinforce their beliefs. And it's just dangerous when you hang out with people like this. I worked with a guy that was very Machiavellian, very manipulative. He was a psychopath, seriously, guys. And at first, I was like, this guy's cool, he's kind of funny, everything's cool. And eventually, though, it started to happen where everyone in the entire workforce was affected by this guy. He didn't give a fuck about you. Everything that he did was for his own personal gain. It was to get ahead. It was to get a little bit more. He did not care a single flying fuck about your life. And there are people like that in your groups. There are people like that in your life. And slowly but surely, man, that toxicity just leached into me, and I had to cut it off. I felt it. I felt my positivity draining. I felt my motivation starting to wane. I wasn't being the same. And it's just because when you're around those people, it will affect you. It will affect you big time. And so I'm going to leave you guys with this. So this is it right here. Here's something to consider. If you have a friend whose friendship you wouldn't recommend to your sister or your father or your son, why would you have such a friend for yourself? You might say out of loyalty. Well, loyalty is not identical to stupidity. Loyalty must be negotiated fairly and honestly. Friendship is reciprocal, arrangement. You are not morally obliged to support someone who is making the world a worse place. Quite the opposite. You should choose people who want things to be better, not worse. It's a good thing, not a selfish thing, to choose people who are good for you. It's appropriate and praiseworthy to associate with people whose lives would be improved if they saw your life improve. I really focused when he said it's important to choose people who want the better for you, not the worst, that are going to encourage you and are trying to make a positive impact on the world, because a lot of people aren't. And a good friend, being a shitty friend is easy because you just hang out and you just sort of give in to everyone else. You stop taking a stand for yourself. You become just like them. You give in to the drugs. You give in to the laziness, the apathy. And it's just, you have to separate yourself, because we can be so much more if we have the right people in our lives calling us out on our bullshit, but also, supporting us and really caring about our life and our well-being. So guys, that is chapter 3. And I will see you guys tomorrow with chapter 4. Peace.